Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Skull Mug. I actually don't even know what episode number we're on right now, but given current circumstances within the world, I have two beers that I want to try before the end of 2020. The first that we're going to do is called Monolith. And I think, given recent news stories, this is an appropriate one to be trying out. I absolutely love the artwork on here. So you have this big black monolith, and then this figure on the side of it that's holding up a big beer mug. I just love the aesthetic of this art. I mean, it's fantastic. It doesn't really conjure images of 2001: A Space Odyssey, but it's got like a black metal vibe, and I really dig that. But anyway, it's called an Odyssey de la Saison IPA, 6%, 473 milliliters, of course, product of Quebec. Ingredients, I mean, water, barley, hops, and yeast, typical beer. And I'm trying to find the name of the brewery, but unfortunately I can't. Oh, actually, I think it might be called Epitaphe. We'll have to look it up and find out after. Oh, no, I found it. Okay, Brasserie de Bois Blanc. Okay, and that is in Coteau... Wait, is that Coteau de Lac in Quebec? Not entirely sure where that is, but we'll find out. And also on the side, I just noticed, even though it doesn't look like it is from 2001: A Space Odyssey, it's obviously inspired by it. And it actually says, "I'm sorry, Dave, I can't allow you to do that." Or, "I'm sorry, Dave, I'm afraid I can't do that." Right there on the side. That's super cool. So, 6%. Time to see what this beer tastes like. This has been out for a little while now, but it's still relatively new. It's 3 p.m. on a Wednesday. Nothing like having a beer at that point of the day or the week. Mm. Mm. I really got to get better at pouring this shit. It's all foam. You can't. I don't know if you can see it. You can kind of see some of it there. But every time I try to pour a tall can, every time without fail, it always ends up like this. I just ate an apple before I tried this, and it's left a weird aftertaste in my mouth. Not entirely sure I like this. It's not the beer's fault, of course. I shouldn't have eaten anything before I did this, but here we are. Mm. So the thing I noticed about this IPA already is that it's quite dark in comparison to some of the other IPAs that you might get from big name breweries. But despite the darkness, it's also still very smooth. I really like that about it. Mm. Yeah, I give this one a thumbs up. If you're a fan of IPAs, I think you'll like this one. There is a weird aftertaste. I'm just noticing that now. I don't think it's from the apple that I ate earlier. It's just, it leaves a weird feeling in my mouth after. I'm not quite sure I like it, but maybe that's just from the darkness. I'm not sure. I don't know. Do you believe in a thing called love? Well, what's going on in the world today? I guess I should address the fact that Joe Biden won the election in the United States, which I think is a marginal win for the country. I mean, I'm a Canadian, so what do I know? But to quote one of my favorite YouTubers, Vosh, who said recently, the Republicans are actively damaging the country while the Democrats are preventing any actual progress from happening. So, as much as it pains me to say that I'm glad that Joe Biden won and that the Democrats won this election, it is true because the amount of damage done by conservatives in the United States and the Western world at large far outweighs the negatives of having a Democratic presidency. So that's my personal opinion on that. Of course, we do stand Bernie Sanders on this channel, but Bernie didn't win. What are you going to do, you know? You kind of have to take these small victories when you can, and even though I hate Joe Biden and I think he's a total piece of shit, he's the president now, so we have to deal with that for the next 4 years. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the early months of 2021 because of this weird Trump-worshipping cult that's like sprung up out of nowhere. Like, it's so bizarre. You have like regular conservatives and like regular Republicans in the United States, as well as here in Canada too. I mean, we don't have Republicans in Canada, but we have our own conservative party that has its own myriad of issues. But people who follow Trump, like Trump voters, there's this weird segment of them who look at him genuinely as if he's some kind of god. I know there's a whole like God Emperor Trump meme thing that's going around on the internet, but like these people are actually fucked. Like, they view this man as if he's like the second coming of Christ, and they think that he's playing some kind of 4D chess with the political system in the USA, and it's just total bunk. It's just total garbage. But these people are beyond delusional, and they're the ones who I'm most concerned about. Like, I have conservative friends, and like we disagree on most things, right? But I don't think any of them are delusional enough to be part of this weird cult that thinks that Trump still has like some ability to win this election, despite the fact that he's all the challenges that they've put in court have been completely thrown out, and every other thing that he's attempted to do has just been completely stomped on by everyone who opposes him, and including his own party. So I don't know who these people, like, these people are kidding themselves. Like, let's just be honest. Like, they're not going to fucking get out of this without committing some kind of like horrible, heinous, violent act, which is the thing that I'm most concerned about. Because you look on Twitter and on this new website Parler and shit like that, and you just see people talking about how they want to like openly fucking wage war and like commit a coup d'etat on the country. It's just, it's something that I never thought I would witness in my life, but here we are. I'm safe to say that the same kind of thing isn't happening in Canada, but even just outside my house, there have been protests in this city full of Canadian Trump supporters and QAnon types who think that COVID is a hoax and that the government trying to mandate you wear masks during this fucking pandemic is some kind of huge conspiracy theory to get rid of your freedom. It's bullshit, and it pisses me off because these people do not believe in science. And I understand, like, you don't want to accept anything on blind faith, but when, you know, you are not as educated as the people who are actually there on the front lines working to come up with these vaccines that we're now seeing are coming out, like, who the fuck are you to criticize them? I mean, you're not the one who's doing that kind of shit. You're not the one who has the education required to actually tackle a task like that. So get your head out of your fucking ass. You know, we're going through one of the most tumultuous periods of time that North America has experienced in the last 20 years, like since 9/11, in my opinion. So if we want to get out of this, we have to actually listen to the experts and follow the suggestions of organizations like the CDC and like the World Health Organization. Do the things that they suggest we do, and just overall try and take care of each other and be generous and courteous to your fellow man. Because, I mean, when you're going out to a store just to get your groceries and you're not wearing a mask, or you're wearing a mask down over your nose, defeats the whole point. It's just disrespectful to other people around you. Like, just because you don't want to wear a mask doesn't mean that there isn't someone else in that store who might have horribly, like, crippling asthma or some other kind of pre-existing medical condition where if you're asymptomatic and don't know you have COVID and you give it to that person, they can fucking die from it. So just because there's a vaccine out now doesn't mean that we're out of the woods yet. Please do the best that you can to take care of other people and to just be a kinder soul, I guess, is the best way I can say it. I never intended for this channel to have anything to do with politics, but the way that the world is going, I can't see myself just standing by and not saying anything about it, because it pisses me off to see so much misinformation out there, and it's hard to know who to believe. Like, I understand that, because we live in a world where people who lie have huge platforms and they spread misinformation on purpose because they have an agenda. But it's your job to actually do research, find reputable sources, and learn these things for yourself instead of just blindly following people. Because all these people out there who complain that the mainstream media is corrupt, which I understand they are, and don't want to believe things that they just, that they hear that the government says or whatever. Like, I get that, but then they go off and immediately just believe something that some random YouTuber like myself says, when, we've all seen the thumbnail of the video that's talking about, like, how Trump is playing 4D chess and COVID is a hoax, and the thumbnail has, like, Illuminati signs and, like, pyramids and shit, and, like, some reptilian alien wearing, like, a business suit, and it's all about the Jewish question. Like, we've all seen that shit, and the people who are denying COVID are the ones who are just believing the things that YouTubers like that are saying. So don't just follow the word of some random layman who doesn't know what the fuck he or she is talking about. Go and actually do your research, look at the official source, find it out for yourself, and you will see this is not a hoax, this is the truth. So, once again, take care of your fellow man, be safe, and we will get through this together. The vaccine is here, but we have to continue following these measures as best we can until enough people have been immunized that we actually start seeing the effects of COVID taper off. Thanks for watching. My name's Greg Ravengrave. See you on the next episode of Skull Mug.